I'm gonna be giving you all some tips and tricks on dead rails. Let's get right into this. So whenever you first hop into the game, of course what you want to do is you want to head over to the trading post and sell the gold bar. But if you have any game passes, you can actually sell the items inside the crate. So we have the crate right here, and as we can see, we have these guns, and we can actually sell them for money, which I'm assuming most of y'all don't have the game passes. But if you do, that's a pretty nice trick because you can sell those 2 guns, and then you can head over to the gunsmith, and you'll actually have enough money for a rifle, which is even better. So you can get a rifle, 1 pack of ammo, and then you'll still have enough money to get a piece of coal. Anyway, once we have that, we just want to go ahead and toss the piece of coal in there, and then start going forward. And another trick that I have is that I don't really stop at these basic buildings. At the beginning of the game, I would recommend it just because we will need more fuel, but later in the game, I wouldn't really stop at those basic buildings, and I only stop at these special ones, such as the ones that say gunsmith, sheriff's office, such as this one right here, because these buildings usually have some pretty good loot in them. Like usually sheriff's office sometimes have valuable items, and then also ammo, and many guns. Also, another tip that I have is I recommend getting the rifle as soon as possible, just because it's super powerful, and if you get a headshot, it will actually insta-kill all zombies, bandits, and will 2-shot vampires, so it's really good. Also, if you didn't know, you actually spawn with a sack, and you can click F to go ahead and store up to 10 items in your sack, so it's really useful. Also, make sure you do take the junk items as well, especially the ones that say fuel on them, because we can toss them in for some extra gas. Also, there was a turret box, but I'm not going to take it just because I never use turrets anyway, and we can't sell it. Anyway, let's go toss all this stuff in, just because we can use it for fuel. Also, another tip is if you have stuff in your bag that you're tossing in the furnace, you can actually just go up to it like right here, and then you can just click F to empty your bag, and it will automatically toss them in the furnace, so you don't have to do them one by one. Anyway, here's some bandits over here. So as we can see, if we get headshots, it will actually insta-kill them, which I'm actually like missing all my ammo right now. And there we go, so we killed both of them. Also, whenever you're killing outlaws, make sure you aim for the outlaw itself and not the horse, because if you aim at the horse, it will just kill the horse and not the bandit, so make sure you're attacking the right thing. Anyway, we do actually want to grab these horses and attach them to our train, because whenever we stop at places, these horses will actually allow us to outrun zombies and even werewolves. Anyway, whenever you kill outlaws, make sure to not toss them in the furnace, because whenever we stop at a sheriff's office at a town, we can actually sell them for $35 each. Anyway, here's some more bandits over here. Also, what we can do is we can actually kind of use the horses as shields as well. So let's just place them right here, and since we have the rifle, we should actually be able to just snipe these people. And oh snap, a zombie just spawned on us. Don't know where that dude came from because it's not even nighttime, and oh, it came from the doctor's office over there. But anyway, if we get our aim right, we can just snipe them from here. There we go, we killed 2, and there we go, we killed all 3 without them even rushing us. Also, we actually do need to stop by the doctor's office there, because if you look at the top right of our screen, we are almost dead, so we need to do that soon. Anyway, let's go and grab all those bandits. Also, if we need more fuel, we could just kill these horses as well, and then we could just toss them in the furnace, but I don't really want to waste ammo right now, so I'm not going to do that. Anyway, this is one of the other special buildings, the doctor's office. So this building usually has tons of bandages and meds, so it's really good to stop here whenever you're very low on health, especially like how I am right now. Anyway, let's go inside and let's go. There's actually tons of snake oil, so let's go and drink this. Snake oil gives you a little speed boost and also increases your regeneration like crazy, so it's very nice to have. Anyway, let's go and toss all these people in our bag. Also, whenever it turns nighttime, 1 of 3 creatures will spawn, so either zombies, vampires, or werewolves can spawn, and you can actually tell which one is gonna spawn based on the type of nighttime it is. So right now it's just a regular night, as we can see, so zombies should spawn, which actually, speaking of that, let's go ahead and keep driving. But anyway, if it turns nighttime and a red moon rises up, that means vampires are gonna spawn because it's actually a blood moon. And then if it turns to nighttime and a giant full moon rises up, that means werewolves are gonna spawn. But if nothing special happens just like this, then that means it's zombies. So that's just a nice thing to like keep in mind, because if it's just vampires or zombies, then it's pretty safe to stay out during nighttime. But if werewolves are spawning, then you definitely don't want to be out and about just because of how powerful they are. Anyway, we're almost out of fuel, so we're just gonna stop right here and we're just gonna hop off and we're just gonna kill some zombies, because we can actually use these zombies for fuel. So let's just stand here until some of them eventually spawn in. Anyway, it's now daytime, so we should be safe. We do have a little bit of fuel, not much. I don't think it's gonna be enough to get us to the next checkpoint. Also, by the way, each checkpoint is at 10,000 meters, but between each one is a small town like this, which these are actually super good to stop at. I'm not gonna stop at it right now since I only have 6 bullets left, but later on when we have more money, I would recommend stopping at every single town just because they have tons of loot and tons of money, so they're very good to stop at. Anyway, we completely ran out of fuel, But what we can do is we can just grab our horse and we can just ride up to the checkpoint over here, and then we can sell the bandits that we have and then buy some more coal. Also, another tip is that if it's nighttime and you don't have any like guns or ammo and you're very close to dying, I would recommend just driving to the nearest town, because at each town along the walls are actually these turrets, and they're super powerful and they will automatically target any creatures that come in the town. So if any creatures are outside and get close, or if they're even inside, then the turrets will obliterate them, and then you can collect their bodies and you can actually sell them for some money. And we're actually at the wrong spot. We're at the trading post. We actually want to go to the sheriff's office over here, and we just want to go ahead and empty the bandits. And no, that's actually a zombie. Wait, here we go. This should be a bandit. And yes, it is. And there we go. We sold 5 of them, and as we can see, each one is worth $35. So this is a lot of money. Then we'll go ahead and grab all these zombies because we can use them as fuel. Now let's go over to the general store, and dang, there's actually no coal here, which I think there was actually coal at that trading post right there, so we can actually just head over there and buy some. But before we do that, let's head over here and let's go and buy some rifle ammo. And there we go. We now have a ton of ammo. And what I'm gonna do is I'll actually ride back to the town over there, and I'll show y'all why we want to stop at every single one of them. Anyway, let's go over to this trading post, and let's first off buy some coal. There we go. So trading posts like this can like randomly spawn throughout the world. So if you see them, I would recommend stopping there because they can have some pretty good stuff. Anyway, we now made it over to the town, and as I was saying before, you do want to aim for the headshots just because it does insta kill them. Also, you especially want to stop at all towns that have this red building right here because that's actually a bank, and banks always have crazy loot. Like they always have bonds and usually like a ton of gold and silver, and inside the bank is a vault, and to open the vault we actually have to kill this dude right here, the one with the top hat, and then he'll drop this little note and it'll be the code. So 42654. Hopefully we remember that. And it's turning nighttime again, and as we can see, the sky is turning red, so that means it's gonna be vampires. So we want to be careful because what vampires do is they teleport. So if you get too far away, they'll just teleport over to you. But the thing with vampires is they're pretty easy to kill, and each vampire sells for $15. So if you want to, we can actually just farm them for money, and that's a pretty good way to get rich quick. It's now daytime, and we have 6 vampires in our pouch right here, and they each sell for $15. So that's gonna get us a lot of money. Anyway, here's the bank. So the code is 42654. So what we gotta do is we just gotta crank this thing to the little arrow. So 4, then 2, then 6, and 5, and 4, and there we go. Now it opens up, and look at all this loot. So we got some bonds over here. We got 1, 2, and 3 bonds, and all these gold bars. So each gold bar is worth $50. So 50, 100, 150, 200. Then each silver bar is worth 25. So boom, $250 just from the bank. And there's even more money for us to get up here, because if you go up to like this church building, each one of these has a golden crucifix. So we just gotta look around for it, and here it is right here. So we can use it as a weapon or we can sell it. I haven't tried using it as a weapon just yet, but I heard that's good against vampires, but it sells for $75. And now let's continue to search the other buildings. I usually don't really check these ones right here. I just kind of look through the windows and see if they have anything valuable. Anyway, furniture store, it does have quite a bit of coal, so we'll go ahead and grab that stuff. And oh, our bag is actually completely full already, and it looks like there's actually a turret inside the general store right there. So if we wanted to, we could grab that as well, but I don't really like using turrets, so I'm not even gonna take it, just because I think the rifle is overall better. And let's hop out and let's go and sell all these items, and instead of dragging them up there one by one, we can actually just stand here and we can click F to go ahead and empty out our pouch one by one. And look at all this money we're about to get, and just like that, we already have $445. So we are pretty rich now. Anyway, let's look in here, and all of that stuff is pretty much useless, so we're not even gonna take it. Let's go into the doctor's office. I am gonna buy some snake oil just because it's really good, so let's go and do this. Also, you are able to open up your inventory by clicking the little tilde button, and then we can just go and toss our bandages in there, move this snake oil closer, and there we go. Now let's continue onward. Also, we can check the time right here. It turns nighttime at 10 p.m. so if we want to make sure that we're safe during nighttime, we could stay inside this town until it turns day again. But I do have quite a bit of fuel, so I can keep driving, so I'm just gonna drive through the nighttime. And it's now nighttime, and there is a massive full moon, and also a little like howling sound effect played, so that means werewolves are spawning tonight. There's one right there already chasing us down. Also, the 2 best guns in my opinion is the rifle and the shotgun. Overall, I do prefer the rifle, but the shotgun does do more damage if you are closer. Most times you will be farther back, so I recommend using a rifle just because it can also one-shot most people. But if you're trying to kill a bunch of werewolves or vampires, then I would recommend the shotgun, just because if they're like right up in your face, it will do more damage, so that can be pretty helpful sometimes. And let's see, and yes, there is coal. I also do recommend stacking up on coal whenever you have the chance, like at least 3 pieces, just because it's nice to not need to stop at any places. Also, if you want a ton of resources, then I would highly recommend stopping at the castle right there. I'm not going to do it in this video, just because I am playing solo, but I recommend checking out my last video, where I showed y'all what's inside the castle, and it's actually a ton of loot. Like, you get tons of money, and also you get tons of weapons, meds, bonds, and pretty much everything you need is inside that castle. But you do have to defeat quite a few werewolves, but I would highly recommend stopping there and doing that. Anyway, here's the rest of the armor. So we got these shoulder pads right there, and then the chest plate and the helmet. I'm not gonna buy them right now, just because I don't have too much money, but I would recommend doing that. Anyway, I can't really find any of those metal panels, but pretty often you'll see people who have their whole train covered in those metal panels, but you don't need that. And the reason why those metal panels are special is because they're actually bulletproof. So if you run into like a group of outlaws, their bullets will actually be stopped by the metal panels. But you don't need your whole train covered in those, because that's kind of useless. But if you do manage to find them, what I would do is I would place one right here so it covers up this window, and I would place another on this window as well, just so both windows are covered. But I would just recommend covering the sides just so you don't get ambushed. And then if you want to, I would recommend placing one last panel right here, just so they can't come up and shoot you from behind. But after you cover those 3 spots, then you're pretty much good, and you don't need any more. Like, covering your entire train in those metal panels is very overkill, and you do not need that. And also the barbed wire, it's pretty much useless as well. I wouldn't really recommend it, just because it's kind of a waste of money. But anyway, those are pretty much all the tips I have though. I'll make another video showing you all tips for the 80,000 meter checkpoint and how to lower the bridge, just because that can be pretty challenging. But anyway, hopefully the tips I shared help y'all progress in the game even farther. And that's gonna be all for this video though, so make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications, and I'll see you all in the next video.